A news hour tonight. National grid collapses for fourth time in 2024. Federal government talks tough amid backlash from $150 billion Samoa deal. Attempted murder of students unsettles the Gabi community in Kaduna as parents demand justice. On the foreign scene, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso turn their backs on ECOWAS, coup leader says. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. We'll start with the grid collapse, where it has collapsed again, with the country currently generating 0.80 megawatt of electricity. A check on the website of Independent System Operator, an autonomous arm of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, indicated that power plant's contribution to the grid began to decline around 2 p.m. to 2,797.16 megawatts from the average of 3,417.99 megawatts around 1 p.m. The electricity contribution further declined to 1,020.08 megawatts around 3 p.m. before dramatically falling to 0.80 megawatts by 4 p.m. Reports say the 0.80 megawatts was generated by the Trans-Amadi power plant. Confirming the collapse, the Engus Electricity Distribution Company PLC EEDC said the incident occurred around 3:09 p.m. A public announcement signed by its head of corporate affairs, Emeka Eze, noted that the situation led to loss of power supply. This will be the fourth power grid collapse in 2024. Joining us via Zoom is a power sector expert, Oyebode Fadigbe, to talk on the grid collapse. Good evening, Mr. Fadigbe.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear. All right, can you tell us more about this grid collapse and a signpost for Nigeria's power sector, seeing that this is the fourth time in the year 2024?
I think with the state of our power supply in this country, grid collapse is no longer something that is strange to us. It has become a common occurrence in our power markets, and that's quite unfortunate. That's quite sad, because Nigeria is supposed to be one of the countries where we are expected to look forward to greater stability in our power sector, but that has not been the case. Within a space of 6 months, we are in the 7th month of the year, we are talking about 4 grid collapses. That's quite unfortunate. In terms of implication, it readily shows that we have not mastered our power sector, or perhaps we have not done anything substantially to make sure that these major incidences of collapse are avoided. The other thing that you can see readily is that it has further eroded investors' confidence. It has further revealed the fact that the fragility in the sector is becoming more and more obvious. If we don't know what has given rise to this, the little information I have currently says that the collapse came from the southern part of the grid, but we still need to wait to get the full details of what must have given rise to this. So it's quite sad. It's quite unfortunate that our grid is still collapsing. Businesses are seriously affected. It has increased the cost of doing business for that short period or for the duration of the collapse. Don't forget the fact that customers are already complaining that those of them in Band A are paying so much as 209 naira per unit. And then we're talking of grid collapse. So it's quite sad and very disturbing. And I think it's not a story that is palatable to the ears, or that is sweet to speak about in the mouth.
So, Mr. Fadigbe, do you think the government is matching words with action when it comes to power sector reforms?
I think obviously we are seeing a gap between words and action. Most of us, or those who are in my kind of frame of mind, had looked forward to a situation where we can talk about some major progress in the power sector today, especially because we have a president who had tried his hands in private sector involvement in power supply in Lagos State, and we had expected that he will bring that kind of energy to the Nigerian power sector. I know that Nigeria is bigger than Lagos State, but one thing that most of us have looked forward to and continue to look forward to is the fact that without power, there is nothing this economy can achieve. Without power, this economy cannot achieve anything. Almost immediately, Mr. President came in. He started going around the whole world shopping for investors. And we know that without power, the investors will not be interested in coming in. I mean, look at the companies that have also left Nigeria, for instance. And a fundamental part of the reason why they have left is because of the quality of power supply. The qualitative and the quantitative aspect of the power supply are not giving anybody any, I mean, they are not giving us the kind of assurance that manufacturers want to talk about before they can go into manufacturing or before they can go into business. So I tell you for truth, I'm not seeing the synergy between words and action in the power supply. Somebody said, "Oh, what is the minister doing that has brought about improvements in the current state of power supply?" And I told the person, I said, "Sorry, there's nothing the minister has done that is radically different from what he had done before. It's just that we're in the rainy season, and during the rainy season, we experience some bit of stability in the power supply because the hydro stations can come up. Let's get into November and December again. We would have reverted 100% back to where we were as our last year." So it's quite sad. I can't see the synergy between words and action. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Fibre. And if I understand you clearly, this, of course, is going to affect foreign investors and coming into the country to do business with us, seen as others already leaving.
That's true. I agree with you completely.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fibre, a power sector expert who just spoke to us on the grid collapse that has taken place in the country for the fourth time in 7 months of 2024. Let's go over to more stories. The federal government says it will file a lawsuit against Daily Trust newspaper over its report on the signing of the Samoa agreement. The agreement, which is alleged to have some clauses that compel underdeveloped and developing nations to support the agitations by the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBTQ community for recognition as a condition for getting financial and other support from advanced societies, has sparked a chain of reactions. Some clerics, rights activists, and civil society organizations in the aftermath of the report were furious over the decision of the federal government to sign the alleged controversial agreement. In his initial reaction to the story, the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, has said any provision in the agreement that is inconsistent with the laws of Nigeria shall be invalid. But at a media briefing in Abuja on Saturday, Idris said the government found the report as baseless and sensational. The management of Media Trust, publishers of Daily Trust, is yet to respond to the minister's statement. So along the Samoa deal, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, on Saturday explained that Nigeria signed the Samoa agreement with the European Union to boost food security and inclusive economic development, amongst other vital areas. He stated this at a press briefing on Saturday in Abuja, clarifying once again that none of the articles of the agreement between Nigeria and the EU show that the former has recognized lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, queer, LGBTQ rights. Controversy has enveloped the Samoa agreement signed by the federal government, with many frowning at what they thought was the recognition of LGBTQ rights by the Nigerian government. The Samoa deal sparked a barrage of reactions online, with many opposing LGBTQ rights, which is contrary to the anti-same-sex marriages and gay relationships law enacted in 2014 by then President Goodluck Jonathan. At the press conference on Saturday, Bagudu, alongside his counterparts in the Ministry of Information, Mohammed Idris, said Nigeria would enter into an agreement that was anti-ethical to the constitution as well as the religious and cultural sensibilities of the heterogeneous people of Nigeria. The Economic Planning Minister explained that about 200 areas of cooperation were contained in the agreement signed by Nigeria, adding that aside from the agreement, an implementation agreement would be signed in each of the areas of cooperation. The father of a 400-level computer science student at Al-Kalam University, Katsina, Abdurrahman Adamu Sani, who was stabbed by a youth in Rikachikun community of Igabi local government area, Kaduna State, is seeking justice. Sani alleged that his son was stabbed about 3 times with a knife by a youth in the community. According to him, the incident occurred around 9:30 p.m. on June 26, 2024, as his son was heading home along Damudi Street within the community. Justifies Bello Musa visited the family residence of the victim at Riganchiku community in the Igabi local government area of Kaduna State and files in this report.
This family is still devastated by the unfortunate incident that led to the attack on their son Abdurrahman Adamusani's stores by a youth in the community.
Let the man be punished. Let him know that it is wrong. What is wrong in the boy overtaking him? What the boy's crime? What crime was he? There was threatened to kill him. Because the more he had him, the man had him said, "We will kill you." How? Why? Just overtaking? This is what you call road rage. So you did something very small and somebody is annoyed to the extent that he is carrying a knife with him. You take a knife, you follow somebody, you choke him, rip his stomach. You intend to kill him.
According to the family, Abdurrahman was rushed to the hospital in a cold blood.
Trying to see what's happening. By that time, they have already tore his stomach. His intestines, as I was told, were dangling. The boy is already on the ground. 3 times. They puncture and tore, and they even choked him on the hands, on the thigh with a knife. Then when they realized probably they have finished with him, they entered their car. By that time, people have started gathering. They drove back, they reversed at high speed to the junction of the road and drove off.
I have never experienced this kind of horrific incident before. When we took Abdurrahman to the hospital, his intestines were out, and I thought he would not survive it, but he did. Because as the one who was holding him, I realized he was only crying for help. This is the exact location where Abdurrahman was stabbed, and this is the car he was driving when the incident happened. The family said the suspect is still at large despite reporting the incident to the Rigachikun Divisional Police Station.
In the evening, we went to the Rigachikun Police Station and lodged a formal complaint that this called Dirty Sarki, junior brother to this man, has done this. They made us write a statement and sign and everything, and they said they will go and arrest him or whatever it is. They will do their work. That is on Thursday evening. Up to now, we don't hear anything from them.
Abdurrahman is currently at the hospital receiving treatment.
Ina son a hukunta wanda ya aikata wannan al'amarin.
I want the authorities concerned to take decisive action. We were told that boy has been terrorizing people. We want Abdurrahman's case to be the last.
Ina kiran ga hukumar da duk wanda wannan al'amarin ya shafa.
Justice for Abdurrahman, just like the youth put it on internet, on Instagram, on everywhere. Justice for Abdurrahman. Let this man be brought to court, arrested, tried, and if found guilty, convicted. Because if you don't punish people, they believe they are above the law. We don't want it buried under the carpet. No.
The State Police Command Public Relations Officer ASP Masur Hassan could not be reached to comment on the matter. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
We hope the families of Abdurrahman and himself get the justice that they deserve. Still insecurity, repentant terrorists in Borno State have called on their former colleagues in Sambisa Forest and other territories to surrender and embrace peace. They made their appeal during their reintegration into communities across Borno State. Trust TV's Bitrus Kuritsi has more.
It is an oath taken before an Islamic cleric and those present not to rejoin or engage with Boko Haram terrorists and ISWAP group when integrated in communities. 560 combatant and non-combatant, including top commanders, made this vow with the Quran at the Hajj camp in Maiduguri. They feel delighted to be united with people after undergoing skills acquisition programs. They want those bearing arms to surrender and embrace peace. When we accepted to surrender, we received training in some trade skill for 6 months. Right now, I am training some of my colleagues after I was trained in plumbing. I pray that those in the bush will surrender and join us here to live in peace, because it is progress and living in peace is above every other thing in life. They should look at us. We are healthy. I appreciate the government for the support given to us. May God bless them. We have sworn an oath to live peacefully and conduct ourselves in line with the spirit and letter of the oath. I call on people to see us as changed people who have laid down arms for good. I also plead with our brothers who still carry arms to surrender and embrace peace.
An opportunity to be integrated. Please do not betray the oath that you have taken, integrated back to society. Whatever you have done in the past, whether with your knowledge or without your knowledge, some of them were adopted as kids and but whatever happened in the past, after going through this program, we urge you to remain faithful and bear true allegiance to the Benin Republic of Nigeria. Don't go back to this madness again.
As they are reintegrated to their ancestral homes, it is believed that they will not just contribute to socio-economic development, but also be ambassadors of peace. Bitrus Kuritsi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Now, troops of the Nigerian Army deployed for special clearance operation in Sambisa Forest have eliminated 11 Islamic states of West Africa province ISWAP terrorists. The Nigerian Army, in a statement on its official X handle on Saturday, said the feat was achieved following a coordinated special clearance operation with a hybrid force on terrorist enclave in Jongo village within the notorious Sambisa Forest. It said the troops targeted the enclave and engaged the terrorists in a fierce gun battle, killing some while others fled. The army said its troops further conducted exploitation ahead of the enclave, leading to the capture of some arms. According to the Post, arms recovered from the terrorists include 99 rounds of 7.62 by 54 mm on metal link, 90 rounds of 7.62 by 39 mm, 3 AK-47 rifle magazines, 2 36 hand grenades, and 2 locally made guns. Over in Katsina State, the government has renewed its resolve not to negotiate with bandits that have been terrorizing the state for over 1.5 decades. This comes as some terrorists are asking the government for negotiations following the kidnap of about 80 residents of Maidebino town of Dammusa local government hostage. The Katsina State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Nasiru Dammusa, gave the hints during an exclusive interview with Trust TV's News in Katsina. Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
The Internal Security Commissioner said the government would rather engage the hoodlums more aggressively rather than entering into any deceitful negotiation that may not yield positive results. The Musa made reference to several negotiations with the bandits in the past, where the bandits failed to comply with the terms and conditions of the negotiations. He, however, said the fight against banditry is succeeding at an appreciable pace, saying peace and tranquility is gradually returning to communities that were hitherto devastated by the ravaging bandits.
And we have made it very clear that we are not going to negotiate with bandits. That is crystal. We will not negotiate. So even if they are using people to shield and request government to come to the negotiation table, we are not, because they have failed this negotiation 3 times.
The government is also giving assurances that, unlike last year, farmers can now access their farms without any intimidation and harassment from the terrorists, due to concerted efforts of its local and conventional security agencies who are reclaiming the areas.
But this time around, we brought a plan. We had interface with all the security agencies and the leaders at the grassroots level to pave a way by which farming activities can take place. So, and as you rightly said, that some communities are now farming, even in the frontline local government.
The commissioner, however, debunked claims that members of the local security, known as Community and Security Watch Co., and vigilantes are extrajudiciously killing innocent people without investigation.
Are these bandits that these informers are bringing, are they not being sanctioned for extrajudicial killing? Why are you sanctioning those people who are trying to protect their brothers and sisters and their parents, as you are pegging them as they are into extrajudicial killings? That is the wrong way of understanding and perceiving issues.
The government, while commending all heads of security agencies in their relentless commitments to defeat the bandits and their collaborators, urged residents to devote themselves into serious prayers to enable the Diko Radda's administration succeed. He said the government is strengthening regional cooperation with the neighboring states and is also implementing recommendations arrived at during the just concluded security summit to restore total peace in not only Katsina State, but Northwest region and Nigeria in general. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
To insecurity, the Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural and Social Political Organization Afenifere on Friday expressed concern over the resurgence of kidnapping, banditry, attacks on security officers, and continuous herders-farmers crisis and clashes in the country. In a statement by spokesman Jare Ajayi, Afenifere urged the federal government to deploy modern technology to combat the incessant menace. The group said the recent kidnappings, attacks, and farmer herder crisis have become a worrisome trend that needs urgent attention from government. Afenifere, while calling for a serious review of the country's security architecture, maintained that the plan by the government to engage communities and block avenues through which terrorists and kidnappers recruit more members should be put into action immediately. The group urged the government to consider the immediate constitution of state and local government police, engagement with local communities, and deployment of modern technologies to combat crimes and forestall terrorism. Suspected herdsmen have attacked operatives of the Borno State Security Network Agency, otherwise known as Amot, in the Goba community in Akure North local government area of the state. The herdsmen launched the attack on the Amot operatives, while the latter were enforcing the anti-open grazing law operational in the state. The spokesperson for the Amot in the state, Jima Denike, confirmed the attack in a statement on Saturday. He said the officers were acting on complaints from farmers in the Goba and Osi communities over constant destruction of their farms by cows. It was gathered that one of the officers, yet to be identified, was hacked by the armed herdsmen during the attack. Adenike disclosed that the herdsmen were armed with stones, bottles, and cutlasses, which they used to attack the officers. According to Adenike, the officers had to quickly retreat to base on the order from the command, as the attackers continued throwing stones and bottles till the Amot operatives escaped to the main road. Still staying with the Fulani Hersman situation, some Fulani herders said their cattle routes are now being occupied by farmers. They said the blockade has made them to resort to rearing of their animals close to highways across many states in the country. They stated this after the recent election of new executives of the Mieti Ala Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria across the Federation. Adamu Imam reports.
Many Fulani herders in Nigeria believe that most of their problems is lack of unity and division among themselves. They call on the leaders to liaise with federal government to ameliorate the plight of herders across the country. We no longer have enough space to rear our animals, especially our cattle, because the route has been overtaken by farmers, and sadly, we have no say. We want the new leadership to address our challenges, because we only follow their lead, so they should do the needful. We have numerous problems, honestly, but the most pressing one is a cattle route to move around. The truth is that some farmers are selfish because they will not even engage in farming, and at the same time, not allow us to rear our animals. Inasmuch as we are into farming, we are, however, urging the leaders to our most important needs, which is the cattle road, so that we will leave the major roads. The national president of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, promised to use his position to address their concerns. He said the leadership is pushing for the creation of Ministry of Livestock and Animal Husbandry.
We have a small problem here in Boshi, but by his grace, with this election now, this one will be over. We'll do all we could to make sure that there is one single leadership in all the states across the state region. So what is happening here is a little issue that is going to be resolved by his grace.
He called on herders to live in peace and harmony with fellow Nigerians. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Up ahead. Nigeria's fashion industry continues to grow in taste and popularity. More stories when we return. Please stay with us.
Hey Stars, get more value for your money with StarTimes Upgrade promo. Recharge 1 month on Nova, Basic or Classic Bouquet and get upgraded to the next bouquet to enjoy exciting top shows like Hidden Truth,
Even if something happens between you,
For the Crowd, Celebrity Cook-Off,
Okay, viewers.
Now, by the time we use half of it, the food goes sweet well.
Prize of Passion, and more. If you're on Super Bouquet, recharge for 1 month and get an extra 5 days free. La Liga is back on StarTimes. Anticipate.
Welcome to join us. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. National grid collapses for 4th time in 2024. We also told you that federal government talks tough amid backlash from $150 billion Samoa deal. Two more stories. Guinea corn and wheat are common cereal grains consumed by both children and adults. In Nigeria, many consume them by removing the fibre. However, a dietitian has urged Nigerians not to remove the fibre as it helps in stabilizing blood sugar levels and aids digestion. Here's the report. Beyond aiding digestion, consuming wheat and Guinea corn without removing the fibre, nutritionists say, helps stabilize blood sugar levels, especially for diabetic patients.
The wheat contains protein called gluten, and the gluten affects individuals that are gluten intolerant or that are no gluten sensitive individuals that react to gluten, especially the people living with celiac diseases. So, because of the protein, some people react to it. So after taking the wheat that contains the gluten, because of the sensitiveness of individuals, they tend to constipate
Residents of Lagos, lamenting the hike in the price grains, ordered that the non-availability of wheat has exacerbated the situation.
We are buying before at the rate of 40. Now we are buying for 4,000. I don't know why the reason the price is like that. Even we are buying bag before, now we are buying crates. Please, we want everything to be coming down. The price is too much.
The price now is really expensive and not everybody have the ability to afford it. So now the price of wheat is 4,500 here in Nigeria, while Guinea corn, red and white, they are the same price, 4,500. So now people are finding it very difficult to afford this.
Price of Guinea corn per pint is 4,000. Then one wheat 3,500. People are buying because they don't have choice. They don't have choice. They have to eat. No one is going to sit down with hungry now.
Wheat and Guinea corn are excellent sources of vitamins and minerals such as potassium, which helps reduce blood pressure, as well as phosphorus, which is essential for healthy bones. Dietitian Osho further said that the fiber in Guinea corn should not be removed, especially when preparing it for children.
It is rich in fiber that help digestive health. Those children won't have to participate or stew. And also, it helps the beneficial gut bacteria to grow effectively without any challenge. So both adult and children, challenge for the diabetic, it's advisable to take more of Guinea corn or sorghum than the wheat.
Wheat and Guinea corn, nutritionists say, are highly nutritious and beneficial for both adults and children, and best enjoyed prepared without removing their fibers. Still staying with food, the Food and Agriculture Organization, an arm of the United Nations, has warned that by 2030, about 80 to 82 million Nigerians may slip into severe hunger in the country amid food insecurity. The humanitarian coordinator of the Food and Agriculture Organization, represented by Taufik Bremo, disclosed this at the recent launch of Crop Watch in Abuja. According to him, approximately 22 million Nigerians face food insecurity in 2023, citing a recent survey. This comes as Nigeria's food inflation rose to 40.66% in May of 2024, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. The report showed that staple foods, which are rice, beans, garlic, yam, and others, rose by at least 130%. The development has further worsened the misery index and access to food by millions of Nigerians. Although President Bola Tinubu and his economic team had consistently assured of reprieve by recently declaring an emergency of food insecurity, the problem has persisted. Substance abuse has remained one of Nigeria's social problems that affects mostly the youth population. Kano, in the northwest region, is one of the states that is bedeviled by the menace, and a significant number of youths indulge in it. However, stakeholders are calling for concerted efforts to address the menace in order to avoid an impending epidemic. Here's the report.
In the heart of northern Nigeria, Kano stands as a beacon of commerce and tradition. It is Nigeria's largest city by population and second largest industrial center. Beneath Kano's rich historical colors, its bustling streets and vibrant markets, a dark reality of pervasive drug abuse and other vices threaten its youth population.
I have been using substances for about 10 years now. I started since I was in primary school.
Growing
up in the ghetto with a lot of smoking joints, which we were always visiting, was the reason why I started smoking. To the extent that I now sell cannabis due to lack of a job to fend for myself. Rather than steal or become a burglar, it is better I sell it. I was a terrible drug user. I have slept in gutters and also in a casket at a mosque.
Experts say there are numerous causal factors to substance use and dependency, especially within the state.
Environmental factors would include accessibility to that substance. Accessibility, we talk about geographical accessibility because when you live in an environment that you easily get access to that substance, you can easily get it and use it. And then peer pressure. environmental peer pressure from school, peer pressure from neighborhoods, especially disadvantaged neighborhoods.
For sociologists like Professor Mekano Madaki, issues within family are the predisposing factor to such menace.
Talking about the social, you need to begin from the family. What happened with our family system? One of the fundamental societal factors that has contributed significantly in making drug abuse an issue in Kano is a breakdown of family system.
Though substance use is prevalent among men, women are not left behind. Zarau lives with her son at Niger Road in Sabangari area of Kano State. She lives among other female substance users.
Ina shan codeine. Ina kuma shan roti.
I use codeine, Rohypnol, and I smoke cigarettes. I got into this circle after my divorce. I was married with 2 kids when we got divorced.
Kuma aure na ya mutu.
Though there are no readily available statistics of women users, medical experts say their involvement with substance is on the rise.
According to this United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes statistics estimates, it gives an estimate of 1 in every 4, 1 woman will use substances.
The 2 religions we practice in Kano prohibit drug abuse. So Kano State Hisbah Board, with collaboration with any other religious organization, will fight these demeanors of drug abuse and drug addiction. If you go around, not only drugs, even beer here in Kano is prohibited. So we are warning, I am still telling anybody we caught taking hard drugs will definitely pay the consequences here in Kano State.
As substance dependency continues to negatively impact on the lives of millions of youths in Nigeria and Kano State, experts advise that all hands must be on deck to ensure that the menace is being reduced to the barest minimum in both the state and the country at large.
Away from that, but still in Kano State, hides and skin business is an age-long industrial practice that made Nigeria a force to reckon with in terms of leather production. But the current foreign exchange crisis, coupled with economic turbulence and persistent farmers-headed conflicts, have continued to threaten local tanneries in northern Nigeria. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that despite Nigeria's thriving export market, tanneries in Kano State are still trying to remain in business owing to inadequate raw materials arising from mainly banditry in the Nigeria's northwest region. His report.
The city of Kano in northern Nigeria is the largest commercial hub for the leather industry. The tanneries in Kano are bustling with activities, especially during this time of the year, as men and women work on hides and various skins. These tanneries are the biggest suppliers of local leather, generating hundreds of jobs for youth across northern Nigeria.
Nigeria tana cikin top 10 da take exporting fata wa duniya.
The hide and skin business is one of the most lucrative business in Nigeria. We have millions of people who are into this trade, and over the years you can see how people are trooping to do this business, even though we have so many challenges. But thank God the trade is still going on, but I believe that with time we will surmount those challenges that we have. Kano tanneries, like other leather processing centers, are the beginning point in leather producing value chain. The tanneries receive hides and skins that have been stripped from slain animals and take them through the tanning process until they become leather. Aside from the usual cow and goat skin, some tanneries also specialize in a range of exotic skins like snake and crocodile.
90% of tanning activities in Nigeria is done in Kano. And what you can see here is just a testimony of what I've just said. That if you look at all these trucks here behind you, trucks there, truck here, they are coming from various states of Nigeria to Kano.
Leather produced at these centers goes on to become footwears, bags and clothing, and are transported from Kano to various points all over the world. Some of the world's biggest fashion brands are known to source their leather from Kano tanneries. Unfortunately, this thriving age-long traditional trade is now threatened by a number of challenges.
In Nigeria, we have 18 million heads of cows, and we have about 70 million of goats, and we have about 47 million of sheep, which involve the sheep and the ram, all in that group. And this figure has been going down in the sense because the breeding is not encouraged.
The threat of insecurity in the northwest region, from where 90% of these animal skins are sourced, have over the years continued to pose a challenge to local tanneries. According to tanners, by this time each year, they must have gathered 60% of their annual raw materials. But this year the story is different.
Like
you know, Nigeria, we are in a serious economic situation, economic problem. And for us who are dealing with tanneries, most of our raw materials, we used to get it from villages and towns across northern Nigeria, particularly in the northwest. And you know about the issue of banditry and kidnappings that are happening in this axis. This is seriously affecting our businesses. Apart from the threat of insecurity, unfavorable government policies, the inadequate capital, and the current high cost of living among Nigerians seems to have made it almost impossible for most tanneries, with the exception of Kano, Tan, and a few others, to continue to remain in business. Hoping that one day things will be better and tanning will return to its proper place. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Nigeria's vibrant fashion scene is a testament to its rich cultural heritage and dynamic creativity. From bold colors and intricate patterns that celebrate tradition to innovative designs that resonate globally, Nigerian fashion is not just a trendsetter, but a cultural ambassador on the international stage. Embracing both heritage and modernity, Nigerian designers redefine African style while influencing global fashion trends with their distinctive flair and creativity. Sumaya Abubakar tells us more in this report.
Nigerian fashion is currently undergoing a dynamic transformation, marking a significant departure from previous years when it appeared that the country's diverse cultural expression were overshadowed by Western influences. Many of the fabrics used in Nigerian fashion today are not indigenous to the country, but are imported, reflecting the challenges faced by the dwindling local textile industry. Despite the reliance of imported fabrics, this trend underscores the adaptability and resourcefulness of Nigerian fashion designers and enthusiasts alike.
From what I've seen, I'm really impressed with how far we've gone in the fashion industry, because you see most of these big weddings, before growing up we get to see that most of these designs are imported, but right now you have big fashion houses creating masterpieces for Nigerians and also people in the diaspora.
Fashion in Nigeria has always been a vibrant expression of culture, characterized by bold colors, intricate patterns, and unique silhouette that narrates stories of heritage and individuality. This passionate creativity fuels a thriving fashion industry that not only resonates locally, but also influences the global fashion scene.
Nigerian fashion have really progressed. If you look at it, the last 10 years ago, you cannot compare what we are able to do then and what we are achieving right now. The way we combine things together gives us a different edge from other places. Before, Nigerians used to travel all the way to Senegal to get things, but now we are competing with them, so we are improving.
The Nigerian industry has grown really well. Like right now you get to see people creating designs for Nigerians and also people in the diaspora. As a matter of fact, people in the diaspora are coming to Nigeria to create designs.
Yeah, Nigerian fashion has evolved in a lot of ways, because I have seen Nigeria move from almost nothing to almost everything in Nigeria. We started from when the whole world doesn't even recognize us when it comes to fashion, but now I am proud to say that Nigeria has gone globally.
Nigerian fashion is a celebration of heritage, and these designs are reshaping African style with a global perspective, pushing boundaries and setting new trends. As Nigerian fashion continues to evolve, Nigerians are not only setting trends but also influencing global fashion, showcasing the unique essence of Nigerian style.
I feel like Nigerian designers, we've carried the whole idea of fashion on our shoulders, and if you go on social media, you get to see that almost people from different parts of Africa are dressing the Nigerian fashion because of how much we've imposed ourselves or how much we've expressed ourselves in the fashion industry.
When you look at Nigerian fashion, the way they combine their things, like we do a lot of stonework. If you look at Senegalese stonework, you see that Nigerian stones come out more better, more creative way. If you see clothing that are from Nigeria, they are quite different from what you see from Senegal. Things that comes from Senegal are uniform things, but when you see things from Nigeria, you cannot just but admire them and love them.
As Nigerian fashion continues to evolve, Nigerians are not only setting trends but also influencing global fashion, showcasing the unique essence of Nigerian style.
Looking at the fashion industry now in Nigeria, I think Nigerian fashion industry is one of the leading fashion industry in the whole of Africa, because looking at the way we incorporate the Western culture and also our culture, you find that there's a lot of creativity, and even the Western culture are beginning to copy us.
From the intricate details of traditional attire to the bold statement of modern designs, Nigerian fashion has come a long way. It is a force to be reckoned with on the world stage, captivating audiences with a unique flair and undeniable cultural expression. Sumaya Abubakar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Operatives of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corp have cleared the Tafawa Balewa Square perimeter fence of illegal street trading that causes traffic gridlock in the area. The Commissioner of Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, disclosed this in a video he shared on Saturday. The Commissioner said the team embarked on sting enforcement operation at TBS perimeter fence to clear the area of environmental nuisance and free it of all encumbrances to free flow of traffic. To political matters, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) say it will appeal the court verdict invalidating the party's primary election in Edo State. On Thursday, Justice Ian Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja voided the February 22nd primary that produced Asue Igadolo as its candidate. According to the court, the exercise was voided on the ground that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by PDP. But the party, through its National Campaign Council for the Edo State election, described the court verdict as a little setback. Chairman of the council, Adamawa State Governor Amot Fintiri, reacted to the court verdict on Saturday at an inaugural meeting with the PDP National Executive Committee, which was held in Abuja. He urged council members to be steadfast, expressing confidence that the PDP is in the race to win, following what he described as the sterling performance of the outgoing Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki. Also watching News Hour on Trust TV. Now we go to business, where the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says Nigeria is committed to the implementation of a single currency for the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The minister said the single currency, ECO, would foster economic growth and development in the West African region. According to a statement by Finance Ministry spokesman Mohammed Manga, Edun expressed Nigeria's commitment to the single currency on Thursday when he hosted a virtual high-level committee meeting in Abuja. The meeting brought together key stakeholders from the Central Bank of Nigeria, Minister of Finance of Cape Verde, Olavu Korea, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs of Cote d'Ivoire, Adama Koulibaly and the Ghanaian Minister of Finance, Mohammed Amin Adam, among others. The ECO aims to promote economic integration, facilitate trade, and enhance monetary stability among the 15-member ECOWAS states. The Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, has launched a groundbreaking ceremony for 250 housing unit project in Nasarawa State. The project is part of the federal government's nationwide network of cities and estates program aimed at delivering 50,000 housing units across the country. Ahmed Musa, during the event at the Shabu Development Area of Lafia Local Government Area of Nasarawa State on Saturday, stated that the program was officially launched earlier this year in Abuja by President Bola Tinubu to turn the country into a huge construction site. The housing unit estate project is expected to create job opportunities for various professionals, including architects, engineers, builders, plumbers, electricians, traders, and suppliers of building materials. The minister assured that the project will be completed promptly with quality construction work. On the foreign scene, the military leader of Nigerian Republic, General Abdurrahman Tiani, on Saturday said his country, along with neighbors Mali and Burkina Faso, have irrevocably turned their backs on the West African bloc, ECOWAS. He disclosed this at the opening of a summit in Niamey between the three Sahelian nations who pulled out of the larger group earlier this year. The president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Eliotore, had on Thursday lamented that despite several efforts being made by the regional bloc to bring Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger back to the fold, the trio are not showing any sign of returning. While speaking at the opening ceremony of the 92nd Ordinary Session of the Council of Ministers of the bloc in Abuja, he said ECOWAS was yet to establish a framework for negotiation with the authorities in the three Sahelian countries on the decision to withdraw their membership from the community. On January 28, the three military juntas in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger announced they would leave the ECOWAS. Britain's new Labour Prime Minister K Starman on Saturday said he was not prepared to continue with the previous Conservative government's flagship scheme to deport migrants to Rwanda. According to Starmer, the Rwanda scheme was dead and buried before it started. Ex-Prime Minister Rishi Sunak stated his political reputation on his plan to, quote, stop the boats by pushing the controversial deportation plan despite opposition from rights groups and judicial rulings. Labour, however, said it will jettison the scheme to remove people to Rwanda who will cross the English Channel by boat from northern France. Immigration has become an increasingly central political issue since the United Kingdom left the European Union in 2020, largely on a promise to, quote, take back control of the country's borders. Starmer said previously that Sunak's policy was neither a deterrent nor value for money. He has pledged to tackle the issue upstream by smashing the people smuggling gangs behind the crossings. It's time for sports news as put together by Adeni Ajishafe.
The coach of Nigerian senior men's national rugby team, the Black Stallions, Steve Lewis, has emphasized the need for regular competition to enhance the team's performance, while highlighting the challenges the team faced due to the integration of 8 new caps and the diverse origins of the players. Lewis acknowledged the difficulties faced due to the lack of time to blend the new players with the regulars. Nigeria finished 10th in the first leg, a drop of 2 places from their previous 8th place finish. However, the team has been working on improving their performance by addressing the grey areas noticed in the first leg. They have increased their training time to improve team cohesion and have been analyzing match videos with the assistance of a video analyst to enhance their strategies. The Black Stallions are aiming for a stronger performance in the second leg of African Rugby Nations Corp. And in basketball, Nigeria's women's national basketball team, the Tigers, have arrived in Saarbrücken, Germany for a pre-Olympic training camp. Ezine Kalu, Emi Okonkwo and Promise Amukamara are among those preparing for upcoming friendlies against Germany, Puerto Rico and Serbia. Others are Elizabeth Balogun, Tomi Taiwo, Ifunanya Okoro, Palace Kunayi Akpana, Mujanatu Musa, Lauren Ebo, Blessing Ejiofor, Sholakpea Musa, Rita Igbokwe, Nicole Enabose, Adebola Adeyeye, Christine Iwujala, and Lucy Ibe. Head coach Renan Wakama is putting the team through intensive training to get them into competition mode. Their first test comes on 19th July in a friendly match against Germany in Berlin. They will face Serbia on the 21st in Belgrade and Puerto Rico on 24 July in France, 5 days before their Olympic opener against Australia. The Tigres faces a tough challenge in Group B, which includes Australia, Canada and host nation France, all three ranked in the top 7 of the FIBA World Rankings. The Tigres will be aiming to make history again, being the first African women's basketball team to reach the knockout stage of the FIBA Women's World Cup in 2018, as they set their sights on becoming the first African nation to advance to the knockout stage at the Olympics. The Nigerian Basketball Federation, NBBF, have also issued a statement on the Tigres star Cyril Goke missing the Olympics due to personal reasons. The final 12 list will be announced after the friendly game against Germany. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Ajisafe.
And that's it for News Hour tonight on Trust Television. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. On behalf of the news production team, thank you for joining us tonight.